Thursday, July 31st. Now, there wasn't much ICE activity today. They were around LA, but not much was reported. But we're going to cover the No Vigilantes Act and the No Secret Police Act, which are currently trying to be passed through the state Senate and Congress. Now, there's big opposition to at least one of these bills, if not both, and you'd be surprised to hear who it's coming from. Now, these are two very similar bills that are going after federal agents for masking, for not identifying themselves, and trying to prevent that. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Assemblymembers Sade El-Hawadi and Mark Gonzalez did take some time to speak with me a day after they had discussed this in committees. I did speak with each of them for about 20 minutes, and this is just a snippet of those conversations, but they both mentioned the same thing about the opposition, which I wanted to share with you here.
You have the other side, right? Law enforcement who are currently local state law enforcement who feel like this is an attack against them. The law enforcement folks here are also powerful. And so they have a particular perspective on, well, why can't I wear a mask? And why do I need to do X, Y, and Z? We know that they're already doing it, but they feel like it's an attack against them when that's not the truth.
The debate that happened in committee yesterday, and I'm a member of the Public Safety Committee, the debate that happened yesterday was that this was not an attack on law enforcement. This is an attack on the ICE raids, on the Trump administration, who is sending Homeland Security and Border Patrol to target brown communities from this xenophobic dictator who is racist, and we have to call it out when we see it. We had a police group who was testifying at the dais in opposition to one of the bills, not both of the bills, which is also key on this. And I mentioned that just because their issue was we should not be lumped in to federal agents who are not abiding by current law. And you guys are putting more laws in place that are going to hinder and harm our members, our police officers from doing their job. One of my colleagues mentioned the fact that they didn't like this particular bill of how we were the mask piece of it because if they're part of SWAT or they go into a fire. And my distinction from that was when those operations of a fire or SWAT or kind of other avenues that are created when police go into those arenas are because they are emergencies or they're being called upon to go in that. In the case of ICE, they're not being called upon to take somebody out, break their door window and pull them out of their car. That is an emergency that they have created upon themselves without identifying themselves and while masking themselves. I mean, bank robbers do that. That's literally my comparison when we talk about those individuals who are not identifying themselves.
So besides opposition from state and local law agencies, they'll probably have to defend this in court as well, making sure that, one, it doesn't impede an officer's duties to conduct their jobs. And lastly, as Assemblymember El-Hawadi mentioned in our discussion, there's a lot of MAGA counties out there that may just choose not to enforce it. Well, that's it for today, folks. Stay safe.